Hey, how you doing?
I'm doing good. How are you doing?
I'm hanging in there, Josh, man. Hanging in there, just doing the business, doing the interviews, doing the whole thing for this new record, man.
Oh, awesome. Well, I appreciate you taking this time to be able to talk to me about this new record, which I've just gotten the chance to be able to check out since yesterday, and it's just an incredible record. I just love what's going on here, and just being able to hear this last show going on here, and just it feels like a perfect set list that was going on, perfect sound, and it feels so perfect for a Suffocation live album.
Well, thanks, man. I mean, we tried to do the best that we could do. The whole entire thing was a little over 2 years ago on Frank Mullen's last tour in North America with us, and we had pretty much recorded almost every show that we had, providing that there was no technical difficulties. And we got it together. We figured that Massachusetts was our best bet. We took that and we stewed on it for a little while. Sent it out to Christian Donaldson of Cryptopsy, who's an awesome engineer. He does all that mixing and stuff on his own as well. So we did that with him. Sent to him, and mixed and mastered it. Came out sounding great. And I think it was really the best representation of Suffocation live that we could find, especially with Frank knowing that it was his last, and he really hadn't been, let's say, rehearsing or playing or practicing for quite a while before that tour.
Yeah, and just listening to it, it doesn't sound like that at all. I mean, it just sounds like
Oh,
it's so
it's live
perfect.
as fuck.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean that was one of the better ones. So I mean, we had to really spend our time. We had like 25 various multi-track recordings of each show. You know what I mean? So we had to sit there and listen through all of them and nitpick it apart and find the one that we really thought was the best, and that one turned out to be the best one. So it's a very fair representation of what Suffocation is as a live band.
Oh, absolutely. Every time I've ever gotten the chance to be able to see you guys, whether it was with Frank or without Frank, I mean, it's just like it. Suffocation always puts on such a great, brutal show, and you guys always pick out the perfect songs for the perfect tour. And it's just like with this show, I mean, I just love the set list from start to finish. It just feels so perfect for it to be a last show with
Well,
Frank.
yeah. I mean, well, that was the thing, when Frank decided to say he was going to do the last tour, and we're getting ready to do some rehearsal stuff with him before the tour and all the rest of that. Like we said to Frank, we were like, Frank, which songs do you feel are the ones that you're going to feel the strongest on? And we have a lot of music. So for him, he wanted to go with really the oldies but goodies. Some of the newer stuff, the Entrails of Youth, things like that. But still, he really wanted to go with more of the authentic old stuff. So that's what really we concentrated on, and I think that's where his strong points suited him the best over the course of the years. Knowing that he's been on hiatus for a while. So I think that was the best. We still love to play those old songs too, but we still want to make room for new stuff. But for Frank, I think it was the best thing for him.
Oh, totally. And I love the fact that it does have some of the newer material on there as well, too, being able to represent what he does, but also showing the future, what's going to be happening as well, too. And of course, when you don't have Frank in the picture, I mean, there's other great material that's out there that I can't wait to be able to hear again.
Exactly. So I mean, we're never gonna change to our roots. Now that we have Ricky Myers, he's doing the singing for us, which I really think he's doing a fantastic job up to this point. Um, I mean, the world is our oyster. We're about halfway through a new record that we're hoping to get out by the middle of next year. So keep your fingers crossed. If we can get my drummer back and forth across the border a little bit more so we could sit down more to be able to rehearse out our riffs and get everything on the table, because we have so much material right now. It's kind of insane, but we still have to put a lot of it together. Um, we're really excited on the direction that the band is going in. Of course, we're always going to miss Frank. Everybody out there is going to, and just as well as I am. But the new material is super brutal and super good, so I can't wait until you guys get it.
Oh, that's got me so excited to hear
Yeah,
that
it's gonna be
too.
good, man.
Yeah, I mean, especially with the times that we're living in right now, I think times really call for a new Suffocation album right now, and I can't wait for
Yeah,
that.
I mean, we're not going to pump out an album a year. I mean, we have a lot of material out there for people to be able to pick up if they really want to. And the diehards have already bought most of it anyway. But we do want to be able to still, write really good music, but just not pump out an album a year. As we get older, it's just, that's for the new and upcoming bands to establish themselves more or less. We really want to take a lot more time in writing the material and coercing it, and it's sounding more like songs than just beyond brutal. You know what I mean? We're still going to be brutal. Don't get me wrong. But we just want to make sure that the songwriting is right and that all the songs have a good flow to them, and that they all mesh, like all the pieces of the music mesh together good, and that we feel that it's the strongest thing that we can do as a band. So, be patient, you guys. We're coming out with the stuff, but we want to make sure it's good for you.
Oh, totally. And, it's just, that makes so much sense to be able to do it that way too. I mean, especially when you get to that point, you want to make sure that every song that you're releasing has a purpose. Everything's going to fit so well together.
Has a good direction and everything,
Yeah, exactly. And I know you guys are going to be able to do that right. So no matter how long it's going to take for that album to come out, it's going to be worth it. I know it.
Yeah, I mean, we're going to push as hard as we possibly can push to do it, but we're also going to be like very let's say tactful in the riffs that we're putting together. We don't want to settle for B riffs, and we don't want to settle for things that don't have a good vibe and a good feel and a good hook that's memorable enough and that's brutal enough. So, it definitely puts a lot of constraints on our writing so that we're not just all over the place. But I think it would be for the best for us to be able to do those things. And now we have the time and we have the space, we have the studio to be able to do the things in that we really want to. So looking for it to be pretty good.
Oh yeah, and speaking of that, I really love the setup that you got going on there. I mean, it just looks like it's so comfortable to be able to record and practice in.
Yeah, that's exactly it. I mean, I sit here and I do a lot of my pre-productions. If some bands ask me for some solo work and stuff, I do it down here. I do some mixing for some other bands and stuff down here, as well as for ourselves. So it's great when I have all the dudes down here and we can really go through things, get our tones squared away. And I mean, we do live rehearsals and we're doing our own little recording things here all at the same time. So it's really a productive environment at this point. But I just don't have enough of my members here in the room to do it all the time at the rate we want to, We're a fast, heavy band. We want it to all go fast, and it's kind of messed up, The government's like, nah, you can't go across the border. If you do it now, you might fuck up everything else. So we're like, hey, let's just wait a second, So we'll take our time.
Oh, totally. So, in speaking of that, you mentioned doing guest solos. Have you been doing a lot of that since the stuff's been going on right now?
Well, I mean, I've done quite a few. I've done one for a band called Angerot. I've done some for some solo projects. What was it? 1974 from Italy. Sabatonero, which is I did a solo for them. Tony Dolan, who is from Venom Inc., did a very cool for frontline workers of COVID in Italy. It's all Black Sabbath covers. A lot of different people actually played on it, so I was really quite happy to be a part of that. Yeah, just a whole bunch of different things all over the place I've been working on. I still do some work on Criminal Element from time to time. There's just a lot of, I don't do it as much as I could do it because I just don't want to oversaturate everybody and everything in the world with Terrance, if you know what I mean. But it's nice that some bands do it. The next one I'm doing is for a band out here in Long Island called Day of Doom. So hope you guys get to check them out. They're really just raw dog doomy heavy music, which is cool. So I have some things that I've been working on throughout the course, but nothing really takes precedence over Suffocation, if you know what I'm saying.
Oh, for sure. And I love the fact that you have so much versatility when you're doing guest solos too. I mean, whether you're doing more Black Sabbath stuff, whether you're doing doomy stuff, whether you're doing more brutal stuff. I mean, being able to show that versatility and not oversaturate yourself. I mean, it's a fine art, but when you do it right, it's great.
Yeah. I mean, it's nice. it's nice to be able to be like, have people ask you, hey, dude, would you like to play on this? Or, would you like to just do a little something in our music here and there? And if their music is different, that just gives me more room, because as I said, I'm kind of in a box where I've been playing death metal and thrash metal and heavy metal and that kind of sort of stuff for so long that it doesn't give me the room to do any of the like bluesier things or classical things that I can do. So it's nice when they offer me a little bit of something different. Another one that I just got done doing was Itself with Ricardo Falcon, who used to play in Belphegor. He's putting out his own single thing. So there's quite a few things out there that you can find my dirty little name on.
Oh, awesome. So thinking about that as well too, when you're doing the guest work, like how much do you really go into it, like when you're trying to find like the right tones and the right guitar, and when you're going about it that way?
Well, I mean, normally I would ask anybody who I'm working with, hey, what do you guys tune to? What would you kind of expect? Is there somebody that you hear over it, or something that you hear melodically over it that you don't want me to do, or that you would want me to do, or something to that effect? But for the most part, I just ask them, hey, where's the areas that you want me to really play on? And, I'll sit there and I'll work on a tone, I'll work on the tuning, trying to get the right guitar, set up, because I have a bunch of guitars and they're all in different tunings, and, I use one for the other. And it really all depends, if I have to go for a little bit more of a rock and roll tone, I might switch from my Triple X head to my PV head, or go into using a plug-in that is giving me more of an orange tone, before I print it for solo. So it does take a little bit of time to pick out, an actual tone, guitar, tuning, yada, yada, in order to express myself in somebody else's music.
Oh yeah, that makes so much sense. And
Yeah,
especially when you have the setup that you do too, whether you're able to choose from multiple heads or you're using different plugins or using different guitars. I mean, when you have all of that at your disposal, you can really dial down what you're looking for.
it definitely helps. And I mean, I hate to say it, but once you get started being a gear junkie head, you never stop being a gear junkie head. So no matter what I do, and no matter whose stuff I'm playing on, I'm always thinking that I need a different piece of gear in order to obtain that little sound. Even though, technology is great now. You can go out and buy a Focusrite interface and get a couple of plugins like Neural DSP or, STL Tone Lab. Amplitude from IK Multimedia is great. You can get any of those plugins and plug it into a good interface. And if you know how to just set the gain right, you can really do anything you want without a guitar head. I prefer old school, so I use a guitar head most of the time. Most of the time. That I'm not saying all the time.
Oh yeah, and again, having that good balance too, because sometimes you have the right tube head, sometimes you have the right biased head, or whether you need to go in and use some plugins. I mean, not separating yourself from anything else and just being able to adapt to all those different situations really helps you out as a musician as well.
Yeah, it does, because I mean, you just never know what kind of tone you're going to need, and you never know what somebody, because a lot of times, even if I'm recording my own tones on there, I'm giving somebody a pickup track, a DI track too, and you never know if they have a really good setup or if they just have a good tone that they reamp through or whatever. So it's always good now with the technology that has come across to be able to, send that DI track to somebody who's knowledgeable on their sounds and see what you get. You know what I mean? I am not a closed-minded individual when it comes down to tracking things, when it comes down to trying new ideas, when it stuff like that, unless it's Suffocation, because it's got to be brutal. And that's that.
So thinking about that, I mean, is there like any examples where you did send out that DI track and it came out like better when you heard what they had in mind?
Well, sometimes. I mean, I can't necessarily say anything sounds better or worse anymore. It's all in the vision of the other artist at that point. So when I'm saying, okay, I sound like a band like Profanity from Germany. I don't know if you listen to them, I played a couple of solos on some of their records, and they are just like a super off the wall tech band that they're like aliens, bro. They're fucking really cool. Anyway, to make a long story short, because they're so technical, for me to make something over it that sounded unique, guitar solo wise or something, I really had to sit there and work out parts that sounded against it, if you know what I mean. And it's a little bit difficult. And then once I ended up getting there recording back, when everything was all said and done and measured, I thought it sounded great. It probably sounded better than what I had down here. But my actual guitar was the most prominent thing down here when I was recording it. So I wasn't the one mixing it.
So, oh yeah, that totally makes sense.
Yeah.
And just to switch it up a little bit, so much of what I love about Suffocation, what you do audibly, it's just like with so heavy and so brutal. I really love the fact that when it comes into a live album situation, the album artwork still matches that tone as well too. I absolutely love the artwork for Live in North America.
Well, what's kind of crazy is we wanted it to be an amalgamation of like all the records, just like there's all different songs on the record. We wanted the cover to kind of be like that. And Nuclear Blast had some artists that they put something together. And it just turns out that Derek, my bass player, is just fucking phenomenal on Photoshop and things like that. So, he looked at it, he said, oh man, I think I could just do this a little bit better. I think I can, change the hues and vector things and put things in a different spot and change the color and, make the logo stand. And he really did a fantastic job on putting that together. So a lot was done through Derek, my bass player, on that cover. And I think it's definitely representing of what Live in North America should be, and it being an amalgamation of Suffocation's songs and album covers put together. I think it's really cool. But as far as Suffocation is concerned, we do like that intricate, dark style artwork, like let's say something like Pestilence, Malice, Maleficarum, or Acts of the Unspeakable from Autopsy, or Altars of Madness from Morbid Angel. Of course, Effigy of the Forgotten, the album cover artwork is phenomenal. Things like that. We're into that style, all of us. So it makes it a little bit easier for us to kind of say, yeah, we like that, and we don't like that. You know what I mean?
Oh, totally. And again, I mean, that's what's got me so excited for the next album as well. I mean, obviously that's a bit of time to go through, but I'm so excited to see like all the details that will be coming out for that, and seeing that artwork and how it's going to be represented.
It's going to be a juicy one, man. I'm going to tell you. It's definitely, I mean, because we're about halfway there in the writing and structuring of the lyrics. We're still bouncing pieces around in those songs. And we still have so much other material that we just got to coerce together. It's going to take us a minute. But with what we do have and with the ideas and things that are going on in our brains about it, I mean, from videos to album covers to names of the songs and albums, it's going to be a pretty intricately, morbidly dark type thing.
Oh yeah, and that's just got me so excited. And then eventually, hopefully when it starts to happen again, the touring cycle that becomes with the album as well too. It's like it's been too long since I've seen you guys live. I can't wait to see you guys back.
Yeah, it's been a hot minute, man. And I mean, it's been 19, almost 20 months since we played live. So we're all itching to get out up on that stage and fucking blow off some steam, man. Blow off some steam for us, but blow off some steam for you guys, because I mean the fans are what give us the energy.
Oh yeah, every time I've seen you, whether it's here in Minnesota, whether I've seen you at something like Maryland Death Fest, I mean, no matter where it is where I've seen you guys, it's always been such amazing crowds. And just seeing that energy, and I can really see it exploding on you guys as well too. Like when you see the crowds, I can see you guys get more brutal.
That's right. And I mean, I think that is the most addictive part of playing in this kind of music. And I mean, it's not the drugs, the women, the alcohol, or any of that. It's the actual adrenaline that you see when you see that crowd flipping the fuck out and everybody vibing to the music that you're doing, and just, getting their frustrations out to the music that you're getting your frustrations out to. It just makes it this one big fucking clusterfuck of goodness, And I mean, there's just nothing that can replace it in the world.
Oh, it's so true. And that's why I'm so excited when things eventually do get back to some kind of normalcy. That's going to be coming back. And again, with the new album cycle, too. I mean, I
Yeah.
imagine when touring starts to happen again, I imagine you guys just want to be able to play everywhere.
Yeah, I mean, listen, I mean, we've lost so much. Like when COVID hit, we were in Switzerland with Belfagor and Hate, and it was just like, Mr. Trump was like, "Here you go, you guys got to get home in 48 hours, or you risk your own shit of being stuck there with COVID." So we were on tour, and it really was like the first time we ever really all felt like we were helpless and we couldn't do anything, and we had to go. You know, we had to leave our tour behind. We had to leave all of our friends, all the plans, everything from booking agent to merchandise to, playing live to our guts just being smeared across the ground and heartbroken. So when we came home, that was it. It was like our drummer went directly to Canada. We came directly to New York, and we've been home ever since. So we're really, really itching to get back out on the road. We can't wait to finish off that tour in February with Hate and Belfagor. Hopefully everything will happen and pan out for us all, but that's the best that we can do, man. We're just going to sit tight and then stick to our guns and hopefully the world will be a better place next year.
Yeah, I really hope so. And along with that too, I mean, the next time I get to see you guys live, and I can just imagine the first time you guys get up on stage and play the very first song, just like what a cathartic feeling that's going to be.
Right. I mean, it's going to just be like straight head rushing of adrenaline. My eyeballs will pop out of my head. I really can't wait for that, man. We're all itching to go out there and just play, have a good time, be with our friends and fans and our metal family.
Oh, it's so true. And bringing things back around, until that happens again, Live from North America is just like such a great live release. It's great to be able to hear you guys. Like it, I think it was 2015 was the last time I was able to see you guys personally. So seeing something
that's
from
a long time ago. Then
yeah.
Hey, listen here, Josh, man. The next time we're coming around, you just gotta hit me up, man.
Oh, fuck yeah.
It's been definitely too fucking long for you.
Yeah, it's been way too long. So it's just like being able to hear 2019 Suffocation and just hearing where you guys were at. It's just like it's so cool for me from that fan perspective. So 2022 Suffocation, I just know it's just going to be absolutely insane.
Yeah, I mean we're gonna go for it, brother, man, until our limbs fall off.
Oh, awesome. I think that's a perfect note to end on too. And just thank you very much for taking the time to do this. I've always wanted to be able to sit down with you and be able to do an interview and just being able to bullshit back and forth like this. This has just been awesome being able to talk about Suffocation, from 2019 and now looking forward to the future. So I thank you for that.
Hey man, there's going to be a new chapter opening up soon. So you guys just stay tuned. If you get a chance, man, pick up Live in North America next month. Frank's last hurrah. It means a lot to us. It would mean a lot to him. And then just stay tuned for 2022 because we're writing our asses off and we're doing the best we can do to bring you some heavy ass music.
Oh, perfect. I can't wait for that. And, again, thank you very much for taking the time to do this. This has been so fun.
Anytime, Josh, it was a pleasure, man.
Yeah, anytime you got something to promote or anything, I'm around, and I'd love to be able to do that for the new Suffocation. If you want to be able to promote anything else, I'm around.
You got it, brother, man. Just send me an email and I'll be in touch.
Oh, awesome. Well, one last time, thank you very much for taking the time to do this. I know it's a busy press day going on, so I appreciate your time, and I hope you have a great rest of the night.
Hey, man, you too, man. Stay heavy. Stay that drummer guy because we love that stuff. And we'll see you guys out on the road soon.
Oh, perfect. Take care.
You got it, Josh. Be easy, man.